Welcome to the Less Insurance Dependence Podcast. I'm your host, Lester De Alwis, and this show is dedicated to helping dental professionals build stronger, more profitable practices with less reliance on insurance. Today, I'm excited to welcome Danielle Kramer, CEO and founder of Easy Dental Solutions. Danielle started her career chairside as a dental assistant and worked her way through nearly every role in the practice, including patient care, treatment planning, marketing, and revenue cycle management at the DSO level. She now coaches practices across the country on the systems, culture, and team alignment that drives lasting growth. So today's episode is titled Built from the Inside, the Systems and the Culture That Set Practices Free. We're going to talk about why so many practices stay stuck on insurance, what the real cracks in the foundation look like, and what it takes to build a team and culture strong enough to stand on their own. All right, so Daniel, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
All right. So you have done almost every job in a dental practice. What did that teach you about why practices stay stuck on insurance?
Yeah, it's such an interesting dynamic, I think, with team, not just team members, but I think with our owner doctors that um, we get so stuck on feeling like insurance drives everything, and every decision we make to include the doctor's conversations with the patients is so much around what the insurance is going to dictate for the patient versus what the value is of treatment for that patient. And we often get stuck on that versus the conversations being driven to what that diagnosis was for the patient and the true value of the health that it's going to restore for that patient. And when I'm talking with teams about how we shift our mindset to think again about that patient and what we're going to be restoring for them, and then getting the team to really sit back and kind of take a step back and say, okay, did we bring that patient in here? Did that patient call us saying, okay, I'm coming to you because I'm in pain, but I want to know what my insurance is going to do first? Or did they come to you saying, I need this problem solved. I'm in dire need of
Hmm.
something from you guys. And that's the problem that we're trying to solve for them. And I truly have no idea where this happened in dentistry that we immediately attached to insurance first versus the value of what we're doing for the patient. But my whole goal in all of this has been to bring back to teams and to really retrain our patients in all of this, the community in all of this, to understand that we don't have to be, strangled by the insurance companies any longer, and we can truly be presenting what we're doing for our community of patients in such a beautiful way that we're bringing back treatment to the people based on what they need, not what the insurance companies are telling us we can do. So, yeah, it was really what the insurance companies are going to let us do to the value of what we can do is where people were getting stuck. And I think that once we change that mindset with our
Mhm.
team members and our owner doctors, we have this really cool thing that happens in offices, and I
Mhm.
love it.
Amazing. I think your perspective of going through each role in the dental practice has actually evolution of how things have been moving around. So so let's talk about that what you found on your observations on all these roles. What is the most common system or culture problem you see keeping practices dependent on insurance?
Yeah, I truly believe that um, as far as a system is concerned,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to actually say it's like communication, right? When we are not functioning with good communication, our front office is not functioning well. Our assistants are not functioning well. And the system I'm going to say is broken is our understanding of how to present good financial options to patients, right? That's the broken system.
Yeah.
And if if we don't have the alignment of what we can do for a patient regarding financial availability or financial options in our space, there's this disconnect. And so our immediate run is going to be what the insurance option is. And we immediately just go to that. Well, your insurance is going to do this for you, instead of understanding, what options do we have? Do we have third party financing? Do we have an in-house option for the patient? And so we just immediately run to the insurance first. And when we don't know, we don't know. And so the reason I say communication is so key here is that if we're not all in alignment in our space, we use the
Mm-hmm.
insurance as a crutch. And so
Mm.
if the front office isn't talking to our assistants, and our assistants and hygiene team aren't talking, and the doctor kind of holds the key to all of this, now we're just so disaligned that, it's like we're all just operating in chaos. And so communication truly is just what has to happen in order to make sure that everything is going to run smoothly. So our financial options for our patients has to be discussed. That system has to be set in stone. And then the communication around this system, we have to role play it. We have to understand how we're going to present it to our patients, and we have to do it consistently. And I said something very key there. I said role play. That's a really cool thing to me. Most people, when they hear me say it, they're like, oh, here she comes. She's going to be talking about role playing. But it's important. I love it. And it gets people really comfortable with those conversations. And then they're not so afraid. Here's the second piece I'm going to say. We're not so afraid to hear no. When a patient says,
Mm.
I just don't know, the fear of hearing no isn't so scary anymore, because now we have an option. We have something
Yeah.
that we can combat that with. And,
Mm.
when we hear the no, we're like, okay, I've already, I know what my plan B is when we've had these conversations. So there's so many important parts about learning how to be a really good conversationalist. So yeah, definitely communication, but having financial options for your patients is going to be key.
Yeah, I think that was a big reveal, like what you mentioned about communication, which is, I think, it is again a very big foundation problem in
Yeah.
most dental practices, and I think that is exactly where your playbook comes in. So you have this playbook of the four pillars, and it talks about systems, culture, communication, and team. So out of all this, which one is the biggest unlock for going fee for service?
Yeah, I think I just mentioned it. I think communication is by far going to be one of our largest.
Mm-hmm.
When we are not aligned with our team and we're not talking together, uh,
Mm-hmm.
we're not going to have culture, right?
Mm.
Um, when we're not talking with our team and we don't have clear expectations of one another, we're not going to have a stellar culture. So when we talk about four pillars and we talk about these a strong a playbook for an office, there are certainly things that have to happen in order to get this playbook in our office.
Mm-hmm.
And truly, communication has to be happening. Really, to me, in step one, it's not something that we can say, okay, we're going to have this really cool culture in our office, and we're all going to come together and we're going to be excited to work together. We've got to set clear expectations, and in order to do that, we've got to be communicating, and we all have to understand what that means to communicate. And so to me, communication is key. And
Mm-hmm.
we've got to not be afraid to speak to each other and make it clear what good, healthy communication looks like in a space. And so, when people work with me and when they get to know me and they start to understand what that looks like with me, they
Mm-hmm.
they have this really cool understanding of like, okay, communication isn't so scary anymore. It's a true understanding of, you can ask me what you need, and it's healthy for me to be able to respond to you with not just okay, I'll get that done. And I can tell you exactly how I feel without any type of repercussion. Communication is healthy. And so that playbook, while it's very important, communication is going to be number one for me.
Amazing, amazing. So, we've been talking about playbooks now, and I want to take a moment to give a shout out to our sponsors. So, right systems make the practice strong enough to charge what it is worth. It's just like having a playbook for your marketing as well. If your marketing needs to catch up to a stronger practice, the team at Ekwa Marketing is offering a complimentary practice growth audit at lessinsurancedependence.com/MSM, and they will do a quick checkup and give you a custom roadmap on where your marketing needs to be from where it is right now. All right, Daniel, let's go one layer deep. So, how does a team that feels appreciated actually change the way patients say yes to treatment?
I don't know that it's that they actually change the way a patient says yes to treatment. I think it's that
Mm-hmm.
patients see the change in the team.
Mm.
And, I was recently working with a team earlier this week, and we were in this big team meeting. And in fact, the meeting was about going out of network. And we were communicating around the importance of just having honest conversations with team members and patients about the dynamic of this. And I
Mm.
said, the patients have to feel the love and compassion that you guys have always had here, and that insurance is not driving
Mm.
your decisions. And the treatment is still the treatment, is still the treatment. You're still going to do the
Yeah.
treatment regardless of what's going on in here. And so
Mm-mm.
truly, I think that when patients see that you guys are cohesive in your space, and you're all working together towards the same goals, that your communication is, from one person to the next, you guys don't skip a beat, and you're speaking with the patients with the utmost respect, and you all just understand everything that's going on. um, their their ability to trust you with what you're
Mm.
doing and saying is right there. And
Yeah.
so why would they not say yes to treatment? Right. And
Mm.
so that to me is that to me is the yes to treatment. It's not that when the team feels appreciated, the patient saying yes to treatment. I think it's that there's this all inclusive, yeah, of course, the team and the appreciation on the team, the patient feels that. And
Of
so,
course.
yeah, a less cohesive team, of course, the patient's going to be like, what in the world's going on here? Right. However, I think that all inclusively, like the patient's going to be like, wow, this is a really cool place. And
Mm.
um, I trust every word that you're saying right now about everything, not
Mm.
just, my treatment, but the way you guys are talking with each other and the way you're moving in and out of the rooms. And um, I trust this process, and I'm going to trust you with my treatment. And so that to me is why patients agree or disagree with a treatment plan. It's not always about the dollars and cents.
Exactly, exactly. So now I think when the team is bought in and when patients feel it, the case acceptance follows. So now let's close with something every dentist can act right now. So what is one thing a dentist can do this week to start building a team that makes insurance dependence unnecessary?
I think that, and I always go to this, I think if teams
Mm-hmm.
are not consistent with meeting,
Mm-hmm.
schedule a meeting, if you're not consistent with doing a morning huddle and discussing, you know, your options for communicating better with your patients, schedule your morning meetings, make it a consistent meeting with your team, because it does actually make a difference. Um, Discuss what's happening in your day, make it make it something where your team is excited to be a part of this. Not just a quick in and out 2 seconds of what hygiene patients are coming and what doctor patients are coming, but make it a true meeting of what was exciting that happened yesterday, what's exciting that's on the schedule today. Make it a true conversation, communication, and truly look at true communication on your team and make that your culture change. And I know that making some of these, these insurance driven conversations, it's going to be better.
Mm-hmm.
And again, insurance driven conversations around financial things are going to change. So, uh, communicate better with your team, and meetings are going to be a good step into the right direction.
Exactly. And I think anyone listening in to this conversation should be having questions on how to implement this, because we want this podcast to be a podcast that is the listeners can take action. So we want the listeners to always be able to reach out to you. So what is the best way, Danielle, that they can reach out to you?
Yeah, I am open for anytime anyone has a question, please reach out. My direct contact is info@easydentalsolutions.com. And I am myself and my team is always here to answer any questions for anyone.
There you go. So you'll also find Danielle's information on the show notes of this episode, and you can grab it right there. So Danielle, thank you so much for spending your time with us today.
Thank you. I totally appreciate being here with you guys.
All right. So what stood out to me most is that insurance dependence is rarely just a fee problem. It's a systems problem and a culture problem. When the team is aligned, the operations are tight, and patients feel genuinely cared for the practice that does not need to discount its way to a full schedule. It earns it. So if you're ready to take action on what we covered today, you can schedule a complimentary practice growth audit with Ekwa Marketing at lessinsurancedependence.com/MSM. And if you're looking for mentorship and you're looking for any help for coaching, you can directly book a coaching strategy meeting with Gary Takas at lessinsurancedependence.com/CSN. Now, the practices that break free from insurance are not the ones with biggest marketing budgets. They're the ones with the strongest foundations. Build the team, fix the systems, and the freedom follows. So thank you for listening to the Less Insurance Dependence podcast. I'm Lester De Alwis, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode.